Hi, thanks for joining us on our second video in this Foundations of MSP Growth mini-series. This is the video I'm calling part 1 of the 2 of the most important sales and marketing videos you've ever watched in the MSP space. Today we'll be looking at targets, how targets are formed, how the numbers work, how you should consider building your own targets, and then we'll go on to looking at budgeting and ROI in our next video. So we'll start by looking at targets. How are targets formed? Well, like most businesses, people often have a gut feel of the percentage that they want to or might grow in the coming year. Or they may have more of an audacious target. We want to grow by 50% over the next 2 years, or have a monetary value, or perhaps a growth based on the number of net new customers or seats that you'll support. Within that target figure, there are obviously a number of different revenue streams. You'll have existing customers that will grow and evolve. You'll have those other ad hoc customers that come along for a project once in a while and you can't really predict it. And you'll also have trusty old faithful referral business coming in. Again, tough to predict, but there's a good chance that you still can rely upon a certain amount of that flowing through over the year. Aside from that, you've got any proactivity that you throw in to sales and marketing. Acquiring net new business through your own graft from cold lists, building everything up from scratch from prospects that have never heard of you. But think, with your target figure, how achievable is that? What numbers and research have you done behind that target figure to make sure that it's going to stack up? Have you considered the audience, the market potential, your ability and budget to be able to reach out and convert that new business? All have an impact on whether that target is going to be aiming for the stars and hitting the moon, or whether it's something that's totally unachievable altogether. Build up something that, is ambitious, but works for you in practice, and you feel as though you're making progress towards it throughout the year. To help form your target, let's exclusively look in this video at proactive sales and marketing. There's a big difference there between setting a revenue goal for the business that's formed and influenced by those other components that I just mentioned, and one for net new growth from proactive investment in sales and marketing, actually spending some money on trying to grow your business versus additional revenue that you'll acquire whether you're investing in sales and marketing or not. Now it sounds obvious, but it's the numbers that matter. Form targets based on tangible numbers that you've acquired from within your business. Firstly, you've got to look internally. What's an average customer worth? Calculate their average per seat value per annum and think about their average lifespan with your company. As a pessimistic value of what a lifespan might be worth, and most business cycles can be measured in something of 3 years. Picking 3 years is probably a good starting point. So look at the revenue across your entire business, even as a simple math exercise. Look at your total revenue and divide it by the number of seats that you support for managed recurring customers. Times that by 3, and you've then got a figure per seat of how much each of those seats will be worth over a 3-year cycle. What's the average size of your customer seat count? Take the number of seats that you support and divide it by the number of customers that you have. Or, if you've got one large customer that will end up skewing that figure for you, then do an export of the number of customers and each of their seat counts, and calculate an average by separating that one that is a bit of an oddball. Understanding how many seats on average you have per customer will help you understand the market potential at large. Most MSPs will be ambitious and think about their sweet spot. 40, 50, 60 seats is probably a good business to try and aim to bring on board. But is the reality not there? Are most businesses simply not that size? Looking at your own customer base will give you a good indication as to what opportunity will be out there in the wider market that you've yet to reach. And finally, what's your conversion rate? How many leads do you have to speak to and engage and propose to be able to win a net new customer? And also remember, of course, that old faithful, those referral leads will skew that figure for you. So make sure you separate those from other net new cold businesses that you've tried to engage, because likelihood is they'll be very different. At Wingman, we see from taking a look at our own campaigns over the past few years and doing some research of the industry at large, we see that 2 to 3% is a good average figure to use to calculate the percentage of cold new prospects through to qualified leads. That conversion ratio from your audience pool that you're proactively trying to market and sell to getting a new qualified lead on the table, ready for a proposal. Over time, there is the opportunity to grow that percentage. This is taken from a cold start, from an audience that don't really know much about you, and you only think that they're a fit based on the information that you have at hand. There's a lot of graft to get them to that point, and of course the more intelligence that you add into the pipeline over a period of time will help you be able to target these people at the right moment and use the right message to get them on board as an opportunity. Once you've got a qualified lead, it's then about converting it. There's a lot of effort required. Once that lead goes over the fence and into your opportunity pipeline, you've got to follow up numerous touch points over potentially weeks or months to win that business. So the conversion rate can be tough, particularly versus those old trusty referral leads that you've had in the past. Most MSPs close anywhere between 1 in 3 and 1 in 4 new cold prospects into a net new customer. So let's put all of that into context. How do those numbers work in practice? Let's estimate that your current turnover is $500,000. Your per seat value is $1,000 per annum. So multiply that by 3 to get that 3-year life cycle, giving us $3,000 as the per seat value over a 3-year lifespan. And having taken a look at your average seat count per customer, say that's come out at 10, for example, 10 seats on average per customer. Let's also take a look at the industry conversion average of 1 in 4. So that's 1 new customer per 4 qualified leads that you get into the business. And forming those leads, let's take 2.5% as the figure to take from cold audience into qualified lead. So let's recap. $500,000 current turnover, 3,000 seat value over a 3-year life cycle, average seat count of 10, a 1 in 4 ratio of converting an opportunity into a customer, and a 2.5% ratio of converting a cold lead into an active opportunity. And if you set a growth target of say 10% of that $500,000 revenue, that would be 50,000 is the growth figure for the year. And remember, of course, this excludes any referrals or other business that you've got. This is exclusively, we're looking at cold new business here from proactive sales and marketing. So let's say 10%, 50,000 is the revenue target from cold new business. What do we need to achieve to hit that? So the numbers tell us that we need to achieve an addition of 50 seats within an annum at a basis of 1,000 per seat to hit that target. So you can look at it in terms of this is the revenue target of adding 50,000 for this year. So we're going to need to add 50 seats during the course of that year to be able to hit that target. Obviously it does depend on when in the year they come on board and obviously realising that revenue within that financial year. Or you could look at it at new business that we've closed is worth 3,000 per seat because that's the life cycle value. Even though that's not cash in the bank yet, there's different ways that you can look at how you decide to measure your sales targets. But on the basis that we're targeting 50,000, let's keep it simple and look at 50 seats at 1,000 each during that year. To get those qualified leads, on the basis we've got a 1 in 4 conversion rate, we're going to need to get 200 seats to be able to convert 200 to 50 seats of new customers. That's a 1 in 4 ratio of 200 seats of prospects to 50 seats of net new customers. With the business average size of 10 seats, that means we need 20 prospective companies to be able to get 200 seats into the opportunity pot to get 50 seats on board as new customers. And with a 2.5% average conversion rate from cold audience to active prospect, that means we need an audience of around 800 businesses to be engaging with our active prospecting. So I hope I've not lost you and bamboozled you with the numbers, but that's a good starting point for how to form your target. Work through those different components, look internally within your business first before you can form a target, and then you need to understand what the components are of what the sales and marketing activity needs to deliver to be anywhere close to hitting those targets. So in our next video, we're going to take a look at what a proactive sales and marketing budget should be to deliver those figures that we need to be close to our targets. So keep watching and stand by for the second video of the 2 most important videos you'll ever watch about your MSP sales and marketing.